until I find hers. She probably took it home with her if I told her not to. Shout out to everybody that's in here, man. I appreciate y'all. What's happening? Nah, for real. What's happening, Quiz? Appreciate the gifts, y'all. I've been traveling around Europe as an American, and I seen our family ancestors and castles. Yeah. They there. Shit cooling, man. Appreciate the gifts, y'all. Shit cooling. So, Asian slaves in colonial America. All right, let's get into it. So, in the introduction, right, we read, during the late 16th century, right, late 16th century, right, 1700s, right, the late 1700s. My bad, not 1700s, I'm tripping. Yeah, 16th century, not 1500s. Yeah, 1500s, my bad, y'all. During the late 1500s or the 17th century, countless slaves from culturally diverse community in the Indian subcontinent in Southeast Asia journeyed to Mexico on the ships of the Manila Galleon. Okay? On arrival in Mexico, slave owners and Spanish officials grouped them together, overlooked their social and linguistic differences, and categorized them all as Chinos. All right? So it wasn't just about Chinese people. It was about what? Countless slaves from culturally diverse communities in the Indian subcontinent in Southeast Asia being lumped up together as Chinos. In time, Chinos came to be treated under the law as Indians, the term for all indigenous peoples of Spain's colonies, and became indigenous vessels of the Spanish crown after 1672. The implications of this legal change were enormous. As Indians rather than Chinos, they could no longer be held as slaves. This book tracks Chino's complex journey from the slave market to the Manila to the streets of Mexico City, and from bondage to liberty. The story of Chino slaves transpired during the 17th century in the expensive context of Spanish Empire. Their experience points to the interconnectedness of Spain's colonies and the reach of the crowns, which brought people together from so-called Africa. Remember what Africa is in the 1600s, right? Mauritania, the northern part of that continent, Iberia and all of that, right? People came. The Americas and Asia. What did we just got done reading with the mulattoes? Okay. And Europe in a historically unprecedented way. The book examines Chino's story in this broad framework, emphasizing that the history of coarseness, all right, of course, labor, right, is necessarily connected to colonial expansion and forced globally migration. By placing Chinos in this larger narrative, the study challenges some assumptions about the uniformity of the slave experience in the Americas, especially in Mexico. All right. The Spanish crown dedicated a legal status of people living in the colonies, but the sprawling empire also allowed for contingencies and individual agencies. Chinos employed merit strategies to gain some modicum of personal freedom in their everyday lives. A great many of them, in fact, worked tenuously to regain their natural liberties, be it by accessing capital for self-purchase. taking their masters to court and claiming illegal enslavement. Right? We read that before. The Indians, the American Indians, did the same thing. They was taking their masters to court, suing them. I ain't no slave. I ain't no slob, nigga. Suing them, right? Okay. For illegal enslavement, or simply by running away and joining indigenous communities. Running away, right? Runaways, right? Runaway slaves. It's a broad term. Don't always mean what you think it means. A lot of motherfuckers were running away, right? Runaway slaves, right? They ran away and joined indigenous communities. All right, now let me play devil's advocate real quick, y'all. For those who's looking at the screen. Right? So if I grab these Asians, right, these so-called Chinos, because that's what they said. They said what? They said the Indian subcontinent, right? And Southeast Asia, right? So if I grab these Chinos right here on the screen, because these are your Chinos, right, that they're talking about, right? If I grab these Chinos and I mix these Chinos inside Indian communities of Mexico, what would the baby look like? Anybody? Can anybody tell me what the baby look like? If I grab Chino slaves, matter of fact, let me show you a caste system from that time. Let me show y'all a caste system from that time. Which one is the Chino? This is from the caste system of the Spanish colony. Which one is the Chino? Do y'all know? Red line says suit and coat. Blessing and peace said the woman. Brittany said the little dude. Jen said the left side, the lady. Hard to tell, but the one on the right is the woman. The woman. If you pick the woman, you are right. De Lobo is the dude with the suit to the left. Negra China or Chino, Negra Chino is the woman. Negra is feminine, female. Negra means woman, right? So she was a black Chino woman, or so-called black Chino woman. Here's another one. Here's another caster picture from Spanish times. De Chino, India, Canbulo. Which one's the Chino? I'm saying this Swarthy Grand Risings fan. Which one's the Chino? Okay. So the Chino, you could say all three, but the Chino is the man. The woman is the Indian. The Chino, the man. India, the Indian is the woman. Now, what is the baby? The man is the Chino, the woman is the Indian. What is the baby? We in the 1600s. What is the baby? What is the baby considered? By 1600 definition, the baby was a mulatto. Right? Remember the definition? A mulatto, 1600s. Either a Moor father or Indian father, or a Moor mother or an Indian mother, and one whose father is of another country. The Chino technically would be from another country. The mother is the Indian. The child is a mulatto. Mestizo didn't come till later on. The word mestizo didn't come until later on. Musty is around though at this time, which technically is the same thing as a mulatto. Uh-huh. So by definition and by colonial records, the child will be considered a mulatto. The mother is an Indian, the father is of another country, a Chino. The baby would be an mulatto on documentations. Okay? And when we talking about these Asians, understand that we talking about Southeast Asians in the so-called India subcontinent. Okay? And then sometimes when they talking about Chinese, right? Because don't get it twisted. Understand there's Chinese that came over here looking just like you. I told the lady I wasn't mulatto, but she insisted. It was probably because you either light skin. A lot of people use mulatto as a descriptive of light skin as well too. All right. So now why I'm telling you this is because All right. Because of this right here too. That's another reason why I'm showing y'all that melanated Asian person. Because during the same time, during around Ellis Island times, they were still coming in and they were still being put inside so-called black communities. All right. So in the Morning Examiner in Bartlesville, Oklahoma, Tuesday, November 11th, 1927, page 1, they tell you the Chinos, right, must go to Negro schools. Indigenous born Chinese were barred from white schools. And I wonder why those indigenous born Chinese was barred from so-called white schools. Maybe because they look a little you feel me? Community that resemble. Sometimes your slanted eyes didn't come from Indian Americans. Sometimes your slanted eyes came because your great-great-grandmama, who was probably listed as a Negro, colored, or mulatto, really came from China. Indigenously. You never know. Never know. Remember, they burnt a lot of records on purpose for a reason. All right? They burnt a lot of papers on purpose for a reason. Okay? So I like playing devil's advocate because I like getting my people to think broadly. Just as easy as you can call a Native American an Asian, a person can call you the same thing. Because how well do you really know? From Chinos to Indians, right? It didn't just happen in Mexico. Mexico was the import. That's where everybody was getting off at. And from Mexico, they spread it from there. Some went to San Francisco and Cali. Some went to Louisiana and Mississippi. Some went to Chicago and St. Louis and shit. Some went to Florida and Georgia even. You know, they went as far as that. You know, for the most part, majority of them stayed in Mexico. Some of them went down into South America, right? They went down to the Yucatan and South America and West Indies. And some of them went back home to the East Indies. You know what I'm saying? Like, peep game. Gotta think simultaneously because this shit was happening simultaneously. Same time frame as we just got done reading with the Moors and the Indians and the West Indies and the Eastern Seaboard and what's going on over there and the mixtures and iron, all that coming on. Then we going over here to the West Coast, putting it together, same time frame. So this shit happening simultaneous. Boop, 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 boop. Why they never told you history like this instead of just, okay, black people, slaves, Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King, Obama, nigga, freedom. Hold on, goddamn, whoa. Black history. Power to the people. Now, moving on with stocks and the new iPhone. God damn. Now you understand why. Because they can't tell your history without telling the truth. For real. They can't tell your history without telling the truth. So they give you some bullshit. They give you some bullshit. The black slaves, Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Obama, nigga. It was deeper than that. Oh my God. Why must we always focus on slavery? Can we just move on? No. Nah, man, but I'm just saying, bro, it's deeper than that. And it go for it. Oh my God, the victim mentality. That sounds like a motherfucker that's hiding some shit. That sounds like a motherfucker that's hiding something. That knows something that you are not supposed to know. That's why they do that. That's why they do that. And I say they as in all of them. It ain't just white people that do this shit. It's all motherfuckers of walks of life that do that because they all know this shit. They know what happened to a lot of the indigenous people for real. All right. It's a confederacy of nations going against the children of the sun. And then here's the real gem dropper. Everybody that I'm showing you come from a culture that deals with serpents and sun, just like you deal with serpents and sun. When you dig into the indigenous people of Thailand, they have Naga history, children of the sun. When you go into Fiji's, same shit. When you go to China, come on, Shi Dynasty and all that type of shit. When you go to Japan, which is a Mexican god, Japan, Ayapan, you know what I'm saying? Sun, Nagas. Peep this. And I don't believe in coincidence, but all of these indigenous people that came over here that look like us in this, they was all Nagas. Or come from a culture of Naga. And ironically, they threw all of us in one big ass label as black people or coloreds. People of color wasn't just for American Indians. These are people of colors too. And everybody asks, well, what water fountain did they drink from? Come on, bro. Look at these people. Do you think you will really be able to tell the difference if a nigga's drinking from the water fountain? Oh yeah, that nigga's a fucking Southeast Thailand nigga. Think about him. Suit, tie, haircut, nigga. Think about it. Suit, tie, haircut, 1920s, shit done passed on a little bit, drinking from colored water fountains. Looking just like you. Standing in front of colored movie entrances. Looking just like you. Some is you. You feel me? By then, everybody done blended in by then. Everybody wasn't a American Indian sipping from the colored water fountains. There was a lot of our brothers and sisters on my background who was too. And then a lot of times it was a mixture of the two. Even though technically it's all the same people coming from the same landmass that left a long time ago. But over 5,000 years, I guarantee you pick up some shit. Right? Right? That's why I showed folks my cousins. Let me show y'all my cousin real quick. And I'm American Indian. I'm Shada, Irish, and Moor from Mauritania. Everybody seen my genealogical records. Let me show you one of my first cousins real quick. All right. And I promise this one of my first cousins. This my daddy's younger brother, son. This is my first cousin. Look at him. My first cousin. My daddy's side are Geechee, Irish. The Moors on my mama's side. My daddy's side is Geechee, Irish, and a little bit of Seminole. Or, Yamasee if you want to say that, from Florida. But there's books that stated that, for one, Thomas Jefferson said that the American Aborigines some of us left America and went to Asia and became the Asian Aborigines with the Shi Dynasty and all of this, right? So some of them are us. They just left a long time ago, like the Moors and a lot of other people from the East Coast, right? The children of Mu. These would be the children of Mu. The Atlanteans is the East Coast. Some of us on the East Coast during the deluge left, went to Europe. The Blackamoors went to Ireland, Druids and Pygmies, etc., etc. You know, went to North Africa, Mauritanians, Berbers, to that, you know what I'm saying, etc., 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 right? Some of us, the children of Mu, on the other side, they left the Pacifics for a minute because the water was raising, and they went into the India subcontinent. They went to South Asia, Southeast Asia, the Shi Dynasty and all that, and Nagasaki, all that, a new tribe, all that type of shit. When the water levels start dying down a little bit, and then the Pacific Islands is what was left, some of them went back home, some of them stayed. Just same thing. Some of them came back home from Europe and everything, some of them stayed. So some of these people are our people just from a long ass time ago. Right? You see what I'm saying? That's my first cousin. Right? You go to my mama's side, right? My Mississippi and Shada side. You go to my mama's side, LaFleur, Mississippi, Greenwood. This is my great grandma. Who knows? Maybe they was Chinos to Indians. They did go to Mississippi like we just read. Who knows? A lot of those records have been destroyed by now. But one thing I do know is that I am indigenous. And I'm not questioning what my grandmama said. Like, they know that they shot us. You know what I'm saying? They know this. So I ain't questioning shit they saying, but I'm saying how easy it is to blend in with the Indian. Run away, living amongst Indians. The stories of the Chino slaves always hiding amongst Indians, the real Indians, right? The same thing with the Sephardics and Moors. When they ran away, they hid amongst the Indians. In order to hide amongst the Indians, what do the Indians look like? Is what I'm saying. He said, y'all American Indian now? I've been American Indian. They gotta look similar, right? Facts. They gotta look similar. The easiest way to hide is in plain sight, right, BP? All right. Just like when Jesus went to hide in Egypt. Exactly. The story of Yahshua, so-called Jesus, hide amongst Egypt. Moses hid amongst Egypt. Right? The Arabs hid amongst the Berbers. Pete gang. Right now in 2026, the Black British are hiding amongst the American Indians. The Black British look like you too. Exactly. They lost their identity. I wouldn't say they lost their identity in our gene pool. I would say that a lot of cultural fusion happened that preserved everybody's culture. And today we do a little bit of both. Yeah, Idris Elba, 21 Savage, Slick Rick, Delroy Lindo. You know what I'm saying? All of these are Black British hiding amongst you. They look just like you. The indigenous British or Britons. They look just like you. The only people that don't look like you is folks that be like, I'm gonna be real, Nigerians. Unless those Nigerians are mixed with Arab blood, then they might start looking like you. But motherfuckers that be like full, like, you know what I'm talking about, like full-fledged Africans from the continent that you be seeing and shit, you can spot 10 miles away. Oh yeah, that's African. I bet that nigga Nigerian. Hey, where you from? Nigeria. I knew it. Hey, where you from? Oh, I'm from Ghana. Okay. I bet you probably like Igbo or some shit. How did you know? Lucky guess. You know what I'm saying? Like, we do this shit all the time. They do it too. They know the difference between us too. The right African will tell you that you ain't African, and he ain't lying. You are not African. Yeah, you right. I ain't. Technically, colonial times, I'm a different type of African. I'm Sephardic and Moor. You know, I'm high ranking, nigga. You feel me? It's a difference. Right? It's a difference. So we're not even talking about the same type of Africans. When people read colonial stories and they try to debunk people or debate people about history, they're still coming from a modern time set. If you're reading 1600 shit, you have to use 1600 definitions and contexts. You can't read a 1600 book with a 2026 vocabulary mind, because you're going to confuse yourself all the time. This is why when I read colonial books, I don't say African. I say Mauritanian. I say Berber. I say Moor. I say Sephardic. I say Negro here and there just to show you that a Negro could be anybody. It could be a black Irish. It could be a black European. Black Irish, black Scot, black German, black Britain, black London. It could be a fucking blackamoor, Huguenot, Indian. It can even be Asians. A lot of Asians and Chinos was classified as Negroes when they got here as well too. So Negroes are a broad term. It just means people with dark skin, colored people, or indigenous people. That's all that shit mean at its root definition. All that black means African. That's some 1800 reconstruction bullshit after they didn't rewrite history. That's why I also read how the word mulatto changed over time. At the root of it, mulatto meant a Moor or an Indian as a base ancestor who mixes with someone of another country or nation, creates a mulatto. So that could be an Indian man and an Irish woman. It could be a Moorish man and a Scottish woman. You know what I'm saying? Et cetera, et cetera. It could be a Huguenot man and an Indian in Louisiana. It could be whatever. And that's what it was from 1500s all the way up until like 1756. Going into the 1800s, then they start trying to say, okay, well, mulatto, European American mixed blood. And then later on, 1780s and 90s and 1800s, well, mulatto are black and white. The fuck is black and white? That's broad terms in itself. You see what I'm saying? All of this is just different stages of erasure and ethnocide of identity. Not just amongst the Indian, but the Sephardic, the Moor, the Black Irish, the melanated Germans, you know what I'm saying? Any indigenous person that came to America, you was getting ethnocided, point blank, period. The land of ethnocide, nigga. Governmental wise. You came here, you was getting ethnocided, nigga. You went from being a fucking, you went from being Moro Filipino to a colored to a Negro, and now you gotta go to school with the Negroes that you look like. And then you're gonna mix and have babies. See what I'm saying? History is very complex, but once you understand definition, it can kind of help you weed around that shit. If any of that makes sense. Appreciate the gifts, y'all. I know it'd be a lot that I be explaining, but I just be trying to make sure folks really get it. All right. You said we Bantus knew about Americas before any whites knew. Yeah. I mean, some of y'all do know. Some of y'all ain't even really African. Some of y'all migrated into Africa. And y'all just been there since 1100 AD type shit. Some of the people we calling Africans ain't even African. Some of them are the original indigenous Arabs. Dark-skinned Negroid looking people. Right? I got a whole segment on my playlist called Africans Aren't Really African. And I'm reading from African books written by African University of Nigeria, the Yoruba people, and all. I'm reading their books, right? This ain't written by no white. This is coming from them, oral stories and all of that. And there are stories about the Yoruba, for an example. The Yoruba comes from Saudi Arabia, South Mecca, right? They come from the Yarub tribe, the Yarub Arab tribe. They left because they was going to war with another known nation that we talking about, King Bulan and all of them niggas, right? And they was pushed into Africa. And as they was cutting through Eastern Africa, and they when they got to East Africa, they split up into different tribes, not different tribes so-called, but different mini tribes. And some went through North Africa, some went through the Central, some went through South. And a lot of them made their way to West Africa, what you call Nigeria and all this area today. And they went from Yarubs to Yoruba. Even when you say the name Yoruba, it sounds Arabic itself. It don't even sound what you would think, African, whatever that sound like, but it has an Arab tone to it. I'm from the Yoruba tribe. I bet you Muslim too. How do you know? Mm-hmm. Most of them is Muslims. Most of them Islamic, for real. Because most of them are the original Arabs. Peep game. A lot of them know this too. Some of the Africans be coming on TikTok playing with y'all. A lot of them know this shit. You got the Igbo tribe. You got the Hausa tribe. The Hausa tribe is from Mecca or Baghdad, what you call Baghdad today. The Hausa tribe is from Baghdad. They still wear their Baghdad attire. They come from Baghdad. Who else? Let's see. The Hausa tribe, the Yoruba tribe. Bantu is made up of a confederation of a lot of different tribes. Some of them come from Saudi Arabia as well. Some of them are the indigenous African or Bushmen. The Khoisan look Asian because they ass come from Asia, the Southeast Asian continent. That's why they look Asian. Not because the Asian phenotype came from Africa. No. There's a book and a story that I have that I'm going to bring out later on that the Khoisan migrated into Africa. They actually come from the Southeast Asians. That's why they resemble Filipinos so goddamn much. Their hair texture just changed when they entered Africa because the climate changed. So the hair changed. But their hair wasn't always like that as well. You know what I'm saying? A lot of tribes from the Madagascar, the furthest eastern Africa, a lot of them come from the Pacific Islands and Southeast Asia as well too. You know what I'm saying? The Shona tribe, they come from the Middle East as well too. So there's a lot of tribes in Africa that ain't even Africans. For real, there's a lot of them that ain't even African. Remember, the word Africa ain't what you think it is. You know what I'm saying? For real. Mm-hmm. You said where the Igbos come from? A lot of them come from the Middle East. Saudi Arabia. A lot of them come from Saudi Arabia. Some of them come from Hindustan. Some of them are the original Hindus. But most of them come from Saudi Arabia and the Middle East. They got pushed into Africa, with King Bulan, Chazars, and all that. The creator Israel, all that other bullshit. Yeah, so a lot of them just got pushed there. That's why most of their history start in the 1100s, and this why a lot of them can't really tell you about African history, and they have to Google that shit. And come on, man, I done debated plenty of them, and it's always the same thing. Well, tell me something about Africa then, since you know a lot about us. What did you mean? What's the name of Africa before they called it Africa? Hold on, let me Google. You don't know? You ain't got an original name in your tongue? What do your people call it? They don't be knowing shit. And then some of that language that they do be saying to you, that should be Arabic as hell. But since most Black Americans aren't really accustomed to foreign languages like that, I'm gonna keep it real. We're not really we hear it, but we're not accustomed to it. Like hearing that shit every fucking day. We don't really know the difference between African language and Arabic or all these other different languages. Most of our people hear Yiddish and think that that's Hebrew and shit because they're not accustomed to hearing that type of shit. Only thing we accustomed to is Spanish and shit, not even French, but they teach that shit. And you ain't met a French person yet in America. I'm just keeping it real, man. So, just peep game on that one though. But most of them be speaking Arabic and shit to you. I real talk. That's why they try to hide our history and culture. Man, look. They try to hide our history and culture for a lot of reasons. But yeah. Hopefully they do their research on that instead of trying to stop us from uncovering our identity. It ain't really too many books over there in Africa that talk about that type of stuff. Africa just got a census records, and they census records only go back to 1940s. And I ain't gonna try to generalize it, but a lot of them don't know who they third grandparents are, they fourth, fifth, or sixth grandparents. Some of them barely know the great grandmama in them if they lucky, but they census records only started in 1940. Yeah, they ain't really got a lot of documentation. That's a place that people were being exiled to. Honestly, it's not really like that was an exile island. Put it like that. You know what I'm saying? People got exiled and got sent to Africa. aka Skull Island, right? Sent them amongst the beasts, the wilder beasts, the tigers, and well, not the tigers, but the lions and giraffes and rhinos and cheetahs, and yeah, nature will get them. See what I'm saying? He said, we even from a land that's under the water, the Pacific Ocean. Yeah, Mu. The Pacific Islands are the remnants of Mu. That's why I don't know why people don't really accept that story when the Pacific Islanders got a whole oral tradition about it, which is really connected to Queen Mu and shit. Like, they'll tell you an oral story. You can get the book called Queen Mu and the Egyptian Sphinx. It all correlates with each other. And the Pacific Islands are the remnants, and not just the Pacific Islands, but when you start getting into Southeast Asia and all of that was connected by one big ass continent called Mu. Atlantis is still here, right? America, the main land is Atlantis, right? Parts of Atlantis sunk, which is, but America is Atlantis. When you start getting into the West Coast, then you start getting to the island of Mu, right? California, all the way to the Pacific and Southeast, that's considered Mu, or what they call Mu, Lemuria, whatever, or whatever the case may be, America, Mu. So this is what creates India superior, right? This is what created India superior. Amaru, yeah. The real Asiatic black man and woman. What's happening, Shine? Peace. So this is who they talking about inside this book, though, y'all. Right? This is who they talking about inside this book. Right? Southeast Asians and shit, right? Fighting for their liberties in Mexico. Chinos to Indians. Right? Catarina's explanatory story set the stage for the history of the Manila slave market. The Spanish Philippines, right? Philippines had a diverse slave population for local labor and export, including Filipino Indians, Muslim war captors, right? Morderos, right? Morderos, right? Negrito Morderos, Muslim war captains, Morderos, Filipino Indians, and foreign slaves from as far away as Portuguese India, right? Or that subcontinent of Hindustan. This is another reason why Christopher Columbus and them niggas wasn't lost, and they didn't think he thought he landed in India. He didn't think he knew he landed in India Superior, because the Portuguese was already on Hindustan, or what you call India today. That's why they said Portuguese India. That's Hindustan. Okay? That's Hindustan. Okay? Peep game. So, Philippines. You know, I love Uncle Sam cartoon comics because it shows a lot of the truth in there from that time frame. When you look at Uncle Sam colonial pictures, right? It's a lot of it is called the white man's burden. If y'all want to be specific, it is called the white man's burden, right? Go research the white man's burden. Uncle Sam colonial cartoons. It'll tell you exactly who he was grabbing. They literally tell you exactly who he was grabbing. You see the tag on that baby ear? Philippines, Morderos, indigenous Filipinos, Chinos to Indians. And there's magazines of Filipinos in zoot suits and shit. Negroid, so-called Negrito Filipinos in zoot suits. There's a newspaper article. They draw them just like they draw us. Peep game. I ain't saying that they made this shit. I'm just saying that they came over here and they adopted the customs, because that's what's also inside the books. When they ran away with the Indians, they adopted the customs of the Indians. And who is the Indians? If these people wearing zoot suits and rapping and making music and all this other shit, and they blending in with it. Put it together, y'all. Put it together. He said, quick question, Kinfolk. I saw a census that someone went from Octoroon to Caucasian. What that mean? Meaning that he probably was just a white passing Caucasian person. Like he was an Octoroon, a white passing Octoroon, that he was white passing enough that he was Caucasian. That's all that means. He a white passing Caucasian person. They also label him as black. He was from Japan. Yeah. It happens. It happens. A lot of Japanese people went over to the Caucasus range regions during slavery, and kids born over there. So if his birthplace was Caucasia or Japan, and it says he's Caucasian but he's listed as black, he was probably more likely a indigenous servant or soldier, and he was bouncing around from place to place in servitude. He ended in Hawaii, from Chinos to Indians. From Chinos to Indians, right? So if these Filipinos was running away into indigenous communities, hiding amongst the Indians, what do the Indians look like if this is what the Philippines look like? You said what that tag said? It reads Philippines. Philippines with examination of Dewey. This was a information wanted, Uncle Sam. Now that I've got it, what am I gonna do with it? That's what that's what it's called at the bottom. Uncle Sam's saying, now that I got it, what am I gonna do with it? They dropped all the indigenous people on America. The white man's burden. It's y'all burden now, all the indigenous people. Real shit. It's called the white man's burden. Go read that shit. That's literally what it do. They dropped all the indigenous people, real indigenous people, Negroes, Negroid, Negrito, us, right? Our cousins and brothers and sisters and shit, not us. They dropped us all off over here in America and called it as the white man's burden. Now it's you guys' problem now. They ethnic cleanse their countries. Exile of the Sephardics and Moors. Remember, I've always taught y'all Moors have multiple definitions. When you say the exile of Moors, you're talking about Mauritanians, Berbers, Tuaregs, those that's connected to the Sephardics for sure, yes. But you're also talking about dark-skinned individuals as well, indigenous people. Because we know that indigenous people are also called Moors because of dark skin and indigeneity, right? And Negro. So when they say the exile of Sephardics and Moors, they're not just talking about Berbers, they're not just talking about Muslims, but they're talking about all indigenous people of dark skin. We're going to try and get rid of all of them, right? The undesirables. Dark-skinned indigenous will be undesirables to these white Catholics, Christian, Holy Roman Empire people who's taking control now. Blockio started in Europe and it came to America after a while. But the problem is you sent all the indigenous people here, so Blockio won't necessarily work over here. Right? So PK. That's why a lot of us got these phenotypes inside of our family tree. We go to a family reunion. We got people in our family that look like Negrito women or men. We have family members that look like Philippines and Thailand Aboriginals, especially the one on the left. The one on the left look like a badass kid from the hood. Man, look. I ain't trying to say that to make it seem bad, but I'm just saying, man, inside our community, bro, I'm talking about these niggas be always in fights and shit. Got silver teeth in their mouth. You know what I mean? You know, man, stop playing, nigga. Hey, it's some of y'all cousins, nigga. These be some of y'all cousins, nigga. Shit. Little Taiwan in them, Daishan, little Day Day in them, man. You know what I'm saying? I got them in my family. Look just like us, though. When you go look at a family reunion picture, look at your family as a whole, just like I just showed you my first cousin. You will see all what they call Asiatic phenotypes all the way down to the American Indian Big Mama that we all have. The one on the left look like someone I know. Yeah, the one on the left look like someone my cousin and shit. Button nose and everything. Right? These was also your colored people as well. That was amongst the Indian. And when you're talking about certain essays and Hispanics, these are also the so-called black grandmamas inside the closet as well. All right, the so-called black grandmamas ain't always just American Indians or Moors or Sephardics. Chinos to Indians. It goes for them too. It goes for them too. You'll be surprised how deeply we share history once we can remove the racism and colorism. All right. So, weekend recap. The history of America that you're not gonna catch on the History Channel at all. You'll catch this shit on the History Channel. All right. You said a lot of them actually know more than they let on to. Yeah, I know that. I know that they be gaslighting us. Honestly, the only people who don't know this is us. That's what I wholeheartedly believe. I've been on this journey for 12 years, dog. You know what I'm saying? Before TikTok, I was on Facebook with it and YouTube a little bit, but mainly Facebook. But I've been reading and researching for like 12 years. My dad told me stories growing up because he fought in the Vietnam War. You know, he was a Marines. He was a gunner sergeant in the Marines. He fought in Vietnam at 18 years old. He told me stories about like real shit, word from word. My daddy used to tell me, he was like, man, when I got sent to Vietnam, I'm thinking we about to go fight some Bruce Lee looking niggas. I was like, for real? He was like, yeah. I was like, what they look like? He said, them niggas look like us. He's like, I got off the helicopter, and when we landed, them niggas had afros and shit looking just like us. And they was cool. They ain't had no problem with us. It was the YT people that they, you know what I'm saying? Like, they knew too. Like, my dad said that our people was welcome into their clubs, they bars, niggas was chilling, weed, it was cool, and they, nigga ain't had no beef with us. It was the YT people. He was like, you know, it was cool and shit. You know, it was like family when we went over there. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. It was like, and that's not the only place. You know, when I said I got stationed in the Philippines, he got stationed in China for a little bit. But the places that they were stationing them, ironically, was these places that had indigenous people that looked like us. You know what I'm saying? And that's when my dad caught on. Like, by the time my dad was in that bitch for like about 6-7 years now, that's when he started catching on, and he started getting more intel because his rank started going up and stuff like that. That's when he started learning that this was an ethnic cleansing. Like, we was sent here to ethnic cleanse. And ever since then, he been trying to get out the Marines, and then eventually he got out and everything like that. You know, they let him retire, you know, with honors and shit like that. And ever since then, he always told me to never sign up. He said, never join a war that ain't got nothing to do with us. You know what I'm saying? When we say white man, that's what we mean. It ain't got shit to do with us. Don't ever sign up. It ain't worth the little trinkets that they give you. They still be trying to bribe the Indians with trinkets. You want to join the army, or you get you a challenger, you know, the paycheck, trinkets. And Indians still fall for the trinkets. Risking your life for trinkets with a war that ain't got shit to do with you. And 9 times out of 10, you going after your own damn people. Ethnic cleansing. Ethnocide is real. Ethnocide is the cleansing of a nation and nationality. That's what happened to us. That's what happened to all the indigenous people. Ethnocide. Ethnos means nation and nationality. Side means to unalive. You unalive a person's nationality. You go from being Indian, you go from being indigenous and Moros and all that, and now you just black, colored, African American, Negro. You ethnocided. And then once you start fighting for a nationality, they call you an extremist, a black nationalist extremist. A black nationalist is just melanated people fighting for a nationality and to be recognized. But they call that being extreme. Why? Because the goal was to take away your nationality in the first place, nigga. Because of what's tied to it, the history. What's really tied to it. These people ain't supposed to be occupying none of these lands that they own. I don't care about being recognized by the same people that ethnocide me. They know who the fuck we is. I don't care about the paperwork. I don't care about the false and pseudo history that they brainwash our people with. I don't give a fuck about the BIA, fuck the tribal cards, the memberships, fuck the casino, fuck all of that. I don't care about it. That's trinkets, nigga. I don't care about none of that shit. I care about is the youth understanding the truth. Because they are the future. And if our future keep being psyop with the lie, then we ain't got no future as indigenous people, man. It ain't about what the books and what the government say. We got the influence. We are the most influential people in the world. Our influence trumps they man-made laws any goddamn day. And that's what they don't want you to wake up to. Everybody waiting on a superpower. Oh, December 24th, superpowers. Yeah. Your superpower is the influence. That is the greatest superpower that you have. The art of suggestion. That's your superpower, fam. You are the most influential person in the world. It don't matter what the books say. Enough of our people get on the bandwagon and it starts becoming the style. Since everybody like to do styles and trends, I'm going to show you how this PSYOP can work for our benefit. We turn this shit into a trend. People start doing the trend. People start doing what is hot. Make truth in reading hot and a trend. Make niggas wake up by accident. Real shit. Your influence is what got you into this shit. Your influence is what's gonna get you out of this shit. People only started accepting you being black and African American because they made it hot. You made it hot. Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Jesse Jackson, African American, and we walking around fists in the air. Yeah, black power. Yeah, Africa. Yeah, her. Nigga doing all that shit. Your influence is what got you reclassified. They made the suggestion, you bit on it, and you made it influential, so people start calling you, so then it went down on paper. That's how it goes. Your influence got us into it, our influence is going to get us out of this shit. I guarantee you. This is why they created the COINTELPRO. They neutralize those who can electrify the public, meaning influence. They know it. Your influence is even in the COINTELPRO documents. We must neutralize potential people who can electrify and wake up the people and unify them. That is a person with influence. They know how strong your shit is. You don't know how strong your shit is. And if you do, you misusing your power. We too busy making it a trend to wear shiesties and sign fucked up deals and rap and zip lean and do this and do that and just very low vibration. You misusing your power. You once used your power for good. High vibrational music. High vibrational morals, characters. Hold the door open. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Respect your brother. Respect your neighborhood. Don't litter on the ground. Pick that up. Put it in the trash. It's right there, nigga. Influence. They took your influence and started using it against you. Understand that. Right? Yeah. Social media is the biggest psyop. Silent weapons for quiet war. Social media is one of those weapons. You can use it for good, you can use it for bad, but understand you working against the algorithm in the machine. Everything we make, everything we drop, you know how that go. Those people gentrify it and they get paid from TikTok from what we create. That's the age-old story. They get paid off of the shit we create. Cause there's plenty content creators, even myself, we don't get paid for shit that we do. And a lot of us is in the content creator program. Well, a lot of us don't get paid for shit. Videos go viral, nigga, give you 50 cents, 25 cents. You know what I'm saying? But the other side, the white side of TikTok, they copy the same shit we do, go viral, and these niggas retiring off TikTok, they get bans, all that type of shit, bro. Peep game. They sit back, watch what's hot, grab what's hot, get rich from it, while you still, goddamn. So being a content creator is no different than being a rapper who signed a 360 deal. That's why I tell people, I look at this shit like music. If you want the real, you got to come to the underground. I am in the underground of TikTok. I've been shadow banned since day one, nigga. If you made it to my live and you just been scrolling, it was meant for you to see me because I am one of TikTok's most shadow bans. Trust me. You feel me? This the underground. If you want that real music, you got to come to the underground always. That mainstream shit is bullshit. There's content creators who so-called giving you so-called truth and they ain't even putting that shit together. They just regurgitating what the next nigga off YouTube said. Oh, 16 Keys said that. Let me say this and throw a twist on it. Oh, Dane Calloway say this. Let me say what he say and throw a little twist on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. And everybody trying to be the next Dane. Everybody trying to be the next Rashad Jamal. Everybody trying to be the next goddamn, what's that nigga that told everybody, you ain't supposed to be drinking water or some shit? You know, nigga said drinking water is beastly. Some crazy nigga. Yaki or some shit like that. Told nigga, you don't be drinking water. The fuck? Man, look, bro. Just peep game. Understand that you got to be careful who you watch on this app. Be careful what you watch on this app because you might be programming yourself to go back to sleep or believe in something that ain't even logic or real. Always research information behind these content creators, and I feel like if they ain't showing you where they got the information at, man, take that shit with a grain of salt. For real. If they ain't pulling up sources on the background like I've been doing for 4 hours, like I always do for 4 hours every day, give you the name, the date, the book. You can screenshot this shit, nigga. You can check behind me. I want you to check behind me. You might catch something that I miss. Iron sharpens iron. If a mother ain't doing all that, bro, take whatever they saying with a grain of salt. Research behind these niggas and figure out where they got that shit from. Because a lot of times of people, and I say that because during the Age of Awakening, the COINTELPRO is for future generations. They knew it was going to be a time where we was going to wake up fully from the spell. So they put a psyops called New Age spirituality out there to the public. So they make this New Age spirituality seem like some real shit, but it's just some bullshit to keep you further in some lower vibrational shit. And this is where you get people using so-called spirituality and astrology for negative things. Oh, my bad. You know, I got anger problems and I occasionally cheat because I'm a Scorpio. No, you a hoe. You know that? No. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my bad. I'm rude because I'm a Leo. No, you're just a jackass. Oh, my bad. Stop blaming. Stop that shit, man. All that bullshit. That's that new age spirituality shit that got parts of our community still fucked up. Niggas is using spirituality to remain assholes and jerks and antisocial, and I don't gotta read a book, I get downloads. Man, get the fuck out of here. I ain't trying to hear a nigga talk about no damn download. Get out of here, nigga. I ain't trying to hear that shit. And I'm not saying I take everything inside a book for face value, but I'm just being real. Sometimes niggas will take that download shit way left field, and you be looking at this nigga like he just talking about Jesus still. You be like, this nigga here, bro. Oh, white people is reptilians? Hey, where you get that from? Nah, I just got a download. Shut up, nigga. You got that shit from Rashad Jamal, who got that shit from Dr. York, who got that shit from David Icke, who got that shit from Zachariah Stitchens, nigga. That ain't no real shit. Stop saying that shit. And I be so for real with that. Stop saying white people reptilians, nigga. They don't even like sunlight, nigga. Reptiles love sunlight. They sun gaze and sunbathe, and they need the sun, nigga. White folks don't like sun, nigga. If anybody, the reptilian is your black ass. Cause you the Naga, nigga, the reptilian. Well, who are what? The parasites. That's why they got to GMO everything. They got to artificial everything, because anything natural hurts them like a parasite. Parasites in your body like sugar and GMO and shit. You start unaliving them when you putting probiotics and real shit in there, right? They're no different than these niggas. And I ain't saying all of them like that, but I'm just saying, you know, racist ones, those niggas. I'm just keeping it real. Stop saying that crazy shit. Stop believing that there's a goddamn mothership full of niggas coming to save you. Them niggas supposed to been here. That mothership full of black aliens supposed to be here in November, nigga. We about to be in June and July. These niggas driving a Prius. Niggas, the fuck that nigga stopped and got some Rellos real quick. Nigga stopped by Saturn. Got some Rellos real quick that we don't know about. Nigga heard that there was a party on Jupiter. Nigga been partying. You know how niggas be. You know, hey, where you at, fam? Oh, nigga, my bad. I forgot, bro. I knew it was something I was supposed to be doing. Hey, man, these niggas throwing a party on Jupiter, man. My bad. Hey, we on the way, man. Yeah, my bad. Hey, man, we gotta go get these niggas, right? Like, come on. What are we talking about out here? And people be blindly believing that shit. You might as well still believe in Jesus if you think somebody gonna come from the sky to save you, other than yourself, your soul, your spirit, your consciousness, your awakening, your unity, collective consciousness amongst your soul tribes. That's the Christ consciousness and Messiah. The stop of the Messiah wasn't about nothing coming from the sky. It was about a community uniting and having a real revolution for their nationality. Christ consciousness, the liberation of our people finally here. This is why they spend so much money keeping you divided. Just call them black. Yeah, throw colorism inside their community. Them niggas will fight over that. Like, unleash the feminists and turn the men against the women and women against the man real quick. You know, them niggas will argue about gender roles for 10 years. Hey, turn the kids against the adults too, and create some shit called the YNs. Yeah, we got. That's a good idea. Yeah, let's do that. What else can we do out here to keep these Negroes divided? Hey, start beef between them and the Latino community on the low ski, nigga. Hey, that's good. Yeah. Let's turn. Matter of fact, let's call it black and brown. Yeah. Let's turn blacks and browns against each other. Even though they the same goddamn people. Just turn them against each other. Yeah. I think we just about got it. Them niggas will be arguing for generations off that shit. And that's what the fuck they do. That's what they do. They created fake doctrines, put it out there. Fake beliefs. They created the out of Africa theory. They created that you came from a monkey. They created the Anunnakis thing. They created a lot of this shit. They created the ancient aliens building pyramids and shit like that. Ain't no ancient aliens built the pyramids. Nigga, we had giants here. The giants helped us build the pyramids. Not no damn aliens, the giants. We had giant American Indian mummies found here 10 foot, 12 foot, 18 foot. Niggas had a damn 10-foot sword. I read in this book the people 3-4 months ago and showed the nigga was buried with a 10-foot sword. And this nigga was 20 feet. This sword has to weigh the size of a pyramid block. And it wasn't just one, it was a tribe of these niggas. It was like, damn, nigga, we found like 100 giant skeletons over here. 7 feet, 10 feet, 12 feet even. Oh, shit. What's over there in that mound with those Indians over there? Hey, man, we finding this tribe full of 6-foot niggas. This nigga 6'1", he 6'2", 6'5", 6'8", 6'10", god damn. Hey, what's over there? Hey, y'all ain't gonna believe this shit. What's over there, man? We found the nigga 20 foot tall. That nigga was buried with a 15-foot sword, nigga. Who was he fighting? What is going on over here? Hey, okay, so we can't let the public know about this. And this is inside the book, even though I'm reenacting it. Okay, we can't let the public know. Hey, so what we're going to do, we're going to pack this shit up. We're going to move it to New York. We're going to tell the people that we're going to move it to the museum in New York, quote unquote, right? And then we're going to say we lost it. Because that's what they said. I swear to you. The Smithsonian said they lost it. How do you lose a 20-foot nigga with a sword? Not one, thousands of them. And that's the story they said, all of them. We were going to transport it and study it. And then people come back later. Well, what happened to the giants? Oh, we lost them. How you look? What? Who's losing a tribe of niggas? Giant niggas. Well, they was niggas. Giant niggas. And see why they want to lose them. Quote unquote. That's who helped build the pyramids. Not no ancient aliens. Now, if you're talking about somebody from outer space, then I can say over the ice wall. Right? I can say over the ice wall. Because when people think outer space, they think up in galaxy. We in a firmament. Okay? Now, outer can mean outer, like outfield. Like you at the baseball bat and you hit a ball outfield and it goes outward. Not up, but outward. Ice wall melting. There's a lot of colonial maps that show you the ice wall is not ice. Green grass, trees, inhabitants, and everything. So outer space will mean something completely different. When you break down the word extraterrestrial, it doesn't mean a nigga from a galaxy beyond. Extra means an extravagant or an abundant amount of, meaning a lot of something. Terrestrial means inhabitants of Earth. So extraterrestrial just means an abundance or an extravagant amount of inhabitants of Earth. And they got y'all thinking some gray-haired motherfucker from space. The whole time they talking about more likely you or other people from over the ice wall. You feel me? Now, that'll be a whole different topic if we get into that. Right? Peep game, man. Understand that. Exactly. In your space, out of your space. Yeah. Outer lands, right? Extra lands, right? Extraterrestrial. Extra lands, extra inhabitants of Earth. Just extra. It's a lot of shit. Yeah, when everybody's on one accord, a lot can be done. You said big question. Who was he fighting? Clash of the Titans. There you go, Swarthy. What's happening? Clash of the Titans was in America. Yeah. Like I said, I never seen white people argue about who's whiter. Nah, facts. Opium. Hey, that's a fact. Oh, I ain't never seen white people arguing. Ugh. You're a little more tan than us. You can't hang out with us. Pale people rules. Oh, you guys are pale. You can't hang out with us. We're tan. You know, you ain't never heard a motherfucker in the white community say no crazy shit like that. We're fair skin. Oh, Brad. Hell no, dude. You can't hang out with us, Brad. You're tan. Guy, you know, pale people only, fam. Oh, Connor, what the fuck, nigga? Fair skins. You know, you can't rock over here with us, dude. You know, like, come on, bro. What the fuck is we talking about here? We the only motherfuckers that be doing this shit. honestly, the colorism. Even though that shit exists globally, but when you really think about it, other people don't really participate in that unless they are from the colony of America. Latin community, black Americans, and all that type of shit. Like, you know, some Asian nations might do this shit, but in reality, niggas ain't really on that shit. That shit be crazy. And the people who created this don't even get high on their own supply. But, you know, small world to a giant. You said, what was that book? I changed that book with the Giants. Shit. Matter of fact, who asked that? Samurai Gypsy. My bad, I ain't mean to send that invite. Shit, Samurai. If you want to come back later on when I hop live after my daughter go to sleep or something, which will probably be like 9, maybe 10 o'clock if you still up, or if you want to catch me tomorrow morning, we'll dive back into that book because we were supposed to do a part 2 on that anyway, so we could do a weekend recap on that as well too. And I'm only saying that because I gotta go all the way down my pictures and shit for it, and I ain't got enough time. I gotta go get my daughter. So, but yeah, man, that book crazy. That book crazy. The P game, man. We'll cover it, man. A hell of giants over here. Clash of the Titans and man. Nigga told y'all gray head aliens created and built the giants. What time? My daughter normally go to bed about 9, 10 o'clock. So we'll probably hop on 9, 10 o'clock East Coast times. If you don't catch me tonight, and if I don't, and we end up staying up late, eating popcorn, watching Disney movies, because sometimes we'll do that, I would definitely be live Sunday morning, about 9 and 10 East Coast time, a.m. So, yeah, Eastern time. I'm Eastern. Yeah, I just looked at the clock. I didn't even know it was 3:13. I'm 10 minutes late from going to get her. So, with that being said, we're going to have to end this right here. If y'all haven't followed the page, make sure y'all follow the page right now. I appreciate y'all for tuning in with me, rocking out with me for these 4 hours. We really got a lot done. I hope y'all understand colonial definitions of mulatto versus modern definitions and how that equate to your census records when you come across it. I hope y'all understand that when you talk about from Chinos to Indians and Asian slavery, it's not always Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan. It's actually other Asians that look like you, right? With the Southeast Asians, Negritos, the Moros, etc., etc., etc. All of this was happening simultaneously in the 1600s. You dig? One was happening on the West Coast. The other was happening on the East Coast. You dig? They merged in the middle. So I hope y'all understand that as well too, right? So this book is not only just for so-called Native Americans, but some of y'all black asses too. Excuse my lingo, but I'm comfortable with my people. Some of y'all black asses descend from a Filipino too. Some of y'all descend from goddamn a nigga from Thailand. You know what I'm saying? Who bump sheets with an Indian. But I'm just saying, you never know how that shit can go. You don't really know what the mulatto was. A lot of records got destroyed. Right? But one thing we do know is that East India, West India, America, it's all India superior. So we all Indians at the end of the day. Right? One bit Naga. One family, different branches. And every branch is not going to be the same as the other, but we all got Big Mama. You know what I'm saying? If that's a better way to explain. Same people, but differences. Just like you and your cousin, you and your brother, you and your mother and daddy. You know, we all related. But we also have differences amongst each other, and we also have similarities amongst each other. And it's okay to acknowledge both. But understand the bigger picture of what really happened in America during colonial times, that ethnic cleansing and ethnocide was happening, and they was taking all the indigenous people, aka dark skinned us, nigga, and they was bringing them to America so they can whiten up the other land masses around America, right? Europe, Asia, Middle East, North Africa, etc. Ireland, Scotland, all of this started getting whitened up, and then whitewash history started becoming a thing. Peep gang, understand that. I'm gonna catch y'all later. Peace, peace, peace. Enjoy the rest of y'all day. See y'all in these TikTok streets.
I come on in, tap the screen, share the live.